I used AI to create 526 articles for our new website just by pressing buttons. The website recently broke 51,000 organic sessions per month, and it now just hit #1 on Google for its main target keyword. It also broke $8,000 in earnings last month. And the kicker is, I only started this project last March. Oh, and here's one more kicker. AI detection software is reporting that this content is passing with a 98% chance of having been written by a human, which makes sense because the site has survived every single Google algorithm update since it was born. In this video, I'm going to teach you my complete AI content strategy so you can copy it for yourself. You're going to learn what tools I use and how to work with them to create undetectable AI content that consistently gets to the top of Google. And even if AI isn't your jam, your competitors are using it, so you should know what you're up against. But first, to understand how this is all possible, let's go back to where it all started. In 2020, the ability to generate AI content came on the scene when an Elon Musk-backed company released GPT, a language model that can produce human text. And you know what? The content is good. Elon called it scary good. But if you're trying to use it to create content that ranks high on Google, it needs some handholding, which we'll get to later. But if you want to generate content quickly and cheaply, there's really no better way. Which brings me to the next part of the story. There's this concept called topical authority. Since I interviewed Corey Tugberg on this channel, this strategy has blown up and revolutionized how people get traffic on Google. Here's how it works. Let's say you have a website selling cat trees. And yes, that's the actual name for these damn things. It's not enough to write a single article on cat trees and expect to rank #1 on Google. But if you completely cover the topic of cat furniture, cat toys, and cats in general, Google has no choice but to consider you a topical authority on cats. And when that happens, that's when you start to dominate on Google. That said, there's a problem with this approach. If you want to be an authority on cats, that's freaking thousands of articles you need to write. 1,000 articles is going to take forever if you're writing it yourself. Not only that, but if you get a content agency to write it for you, it's damn expensive. 1,000 articles with an average of 1,500 words per article, 6 cents per word comes out to $90,000. But that's where AI saves the day. An article can be generated in minutes for a fraction of the cost of a human writer. The thing is, you can't just press the AI buttons and hope that everything will work out. There has to be a catch to this. And that catch is the quality of the content that the AI produces. Of all the AI tools that exist right now, none of them can write acceptable content right out the box. You need a process to guide them in the right direction, fix their errors, and make sure your content is undetectable by the algorithm. In this video, I'm going to teach you that process. And make sure to stick around to the end because I'm going to tell you what changes I'm going to make to the strategy that have just become available right now. But before I get started, I'd like to give you a quick invite to my free SEO training masterclass. It's going to go over all the tactics that I'm using today in 2023 to get websites to the top of Google. Just book your spot using the link in the pinned comment. Now back to AI. The first step in this AI-driven content process is to figure out your content plan. As you know, the entire point of using AI is to achieve topical authority status as fast as possible. Well, now that your content machine is a Ferrari instead of a Honda, you're going to need a map of all the content you need to write, otherwise you're going to run out of topics fast. We call this a topical map, and here's how to make one for free using the VPN niche as an example. Go to answerthepublic.com and type in your main keyword. It's going to spit out a report of essential topics that pertain to your niche, such as can VPN reduce ping and which VPN is free. Next, you're going to use the most powerful SEO tool on the planet, and that's Google itself. Google your keyword and scroll down to the People Also Ask section, which is a treasure trove of important questions that should be part of your topical map. When you click on a People Also Ask entry, more questions spring up underneath it. Use a free tool, SEO Minion, to automatically download hundreds of these questions to an Excel file in one go. Next, go to the Google search bar and use the autosuggest feature to get even more content ideas. Type in a question like does, followed by your main keyword, and voila, here's some critical topics for your map. Repeat for other question words like how, why, and so forth. Then scroll down to the related searches at the bottom of the search result. Spend some time clicking through to explore different branches of keywords for your topical map. Next, you can use AI itself with your topical map. Open up the free AI tool ChatGPT. Tell it, give me 20 semantically relevant but unique topics under the main category of VPN. Nice. How VPNs work and their benefits, types of VPN protocols, and so forth. Then you can expand on any one of these with give me 10 different keyword variations of item number 10 that address a different search intent. VPNs for gaming, how to improve gaming experience with a VPN, and the list goes on. That's 200 more topics. Now the next tip is my favorite. The best place to get topical map ideas is from your competitors at the top of Google. After all, if they're #1 for a topic, they likely have topical authority. The fastest way to reverse engineer your competitors is to open up their sitemap and do a find for your main keyword. Bam, there's 317 articles to add to the topical map that you're now going to knock out with AI. Before you move on, there's one more issue that needs to be addressed. If you've done a good job up to this point, you'll have thousands of topic ideas. Some of them belong in the same article, like how to install a VPN and set up a VPN at home. They're the same thing. Some of them belong in completely different articles, like VPN Black Friday deals. You can use a tool like Keyword Cupid to organize your keywords into proper articles. I left a coupon code for 10% off in the description. It's almost time to bust out the AI tool and start generating content, but there's one more critical item to sort, and that's creating an article outline. You remember before when I told you that the AI tools don't work that well out of the box? They require some guidance. If you create a proper article outline before you start running an AI tool, then it guides the software so that it avoids mistakes. Your AI content outline should focus on two things. First, getting the heading structure correct, and second, the optimal word length of your article. How do you figure these things out? Pro tip, the answer to dominating Google can always be found by looking at the top ranking articles. After all, Google likes these articles for a reason. Now let's say you're writing an article on how to install a VPN. Google how to install a VPN and open up the first article you see. You see these headings: set up a VPN on PC, set up a VPN on Mac, and on an Android device. These are all the H2 headings of the article. The main topic of installing VPNs is broken down into these H2 subtopics. So our article outline should reflect the same. You can also look at the word count of the top ranking article to determine how long your article should be. The free plugin Detailed will get you the heading structure and the word count in a single click. Alright, now it's time to actually start using AI to write your articles. But what software to use and how to use it? I've tried nearly all the AI tools, but ultimately settled on two of them. The first of them was Jasper. You start by manually feeding Jasper a bit of handwritten content called a prompt. Then you press a button and the tool will take over and generate a few hundred words or so. Since you've created your outline, you already have your prompts, the headings themselves. All you need is for the AI to fill in the blanks between these headings. But is that all? We just press buttons and it's done? Not quite. It's this human editing step that I believe has not only protected my AI site from getting hit by a Google update, but it caused it to grow to 51,000 visitors per month. The great part is that the editing step isn't much work at all. There's generally two issues with AI content. The first is grammar problems. Sometimes it repeats words, sometimes it just sounds funky as hell. If you're using Jasper, then it automatically integrates with the industry standard grammar checking tool Grammarly. If you're not using Jasper, then simply export the content and then push it into Grammarly yourself. The second issue with AI content is that it can sometimes completely screw up facts and statistics. One reason for this is because the GPT-3 language model, which these tools are based on, was trained in 2021. So events that happened since then simply don't exist to tools based on GPT-3. That said, GPT will mess up other types of facts. Someone asked ChatGPT, is there any species of animal whose common name in English is the same as its genus and species? ChatGPT said, yep, a chimpanzee's scientific name is Pan troglodyte.
What?
So before publishing, you need to recheck your content. Look for numbers and dates and do some fact checking to see if they're correct. In a 1,000-word article, it shouldn't take longer than a minute. So now that you know how to produce killer AI content, it's time to get uploading. In my case, I started on an age domain acquired from Otis. I got my hands on a branded domain in the exact same niche, which I'm sure gave me a head start when I started uploading my first few articles. You can use the Otis link in the description to get $100 free store credit. But how do you do this at scale? How do you get to the point where you can crank out 5 or more of these per day? Remember, the goal is to get to topical authority status as soon as possible. If you can start producing 5 content pieces per day, in 20 days you'll have hit 100 articles, and you'll already start ranking for some low to medium competition keywords. Option number 1 is to go full beast mode and churn these out yourself. Option number 2 is to get some help. Here's what I learned from outsourcing AI content writers. Sites like Upwork are great for finding AI tool operators. You don't need native English speakers. $6 per hour or $20 per article is a good price, and that includes the outlines and editing. Even if you outsource the AI help, you're still saving a ton of money. Where before a 1,500 word article at 6 cents per word would cost you $90, that's now only $20. So now your AI content Ferrari of a machine is really cooking. You're blasting out content like your life depended on it. But the work doesn't end there. If you want your content to get to the top of Google and actually make you money, you want to optimize it. But to be efficient, only do it when it matters. When an article's main keywords get to page 2 on Google, optimize it using the on-page SEO tool Surfer. This will give it an algorithmic boost to get to page 1 where you'll actually get traffic. Bear in mind, I'm an investor in Surfer and this will come into play later. Load up your article into Surfer's content editor. What it does is reverse engineers the top articles on Google to determine what's the correct frequency you need to write the critical words, phrases, and entities into your content in order to be number 1 for your keyword. As you make your article adjustments, it updates its recommendations. After this process, plugging the content into AI detection software like Originality.ai, I'm constantly getting originality scores of 83% or higher. And not to mention 137% month-on-month traffic growth. Now, reflecting back over this process, while you do save a lot of money, there's still a decent amount of work that needs to be done. You need need to create the outline. You need to operate the tools that slowly inch out 100 words at a time. You need to edit the content for grammar and fact errors. And you need to optimize the content when it gets to page 2. I'm not complaining because I'm still spitting out well-optimized content on the cheap, but things can be improved. So what I did is I came up with a dream specification of what I wanted in an AI content tool. You should be able to give my dream tool a single keyword input like best VPN for Netflix. Then all you would do is click go once. The tool would then search Google for that keyword, open up the top articles, and generate the perfect outline for you. It would then create the entire article since it already knows the right word length and has a heading structure. And if the tool were a freaking unicorn, it would be able to do a post-processing, surfer-like optimization to get the word, phrase, and entity frequencies correct. I knew this was a long shot, but I presented this idea to the management at Surfer, and they got a beta version back to me that freaking blew my mind. Out of the box, we were getting Surfer scores in the 70s or higher, which would have taken an SEO expert on my team an hour to optimize for. And that's not even considering the time it would take a writer to write it. And many of these articles were coming out with AI detection originality scores of 98%. So literally, all I've been doing is feeding the tool a keyword and uploading the output. Just a little fact checking, but no outline process and no optimization step because that's already been done for me. Needless to say, the Surfer tool is what I'm using going forward. It's currently in development and I'm adding even more to the wish list. If you're interested in beta testing it, let me know in the comments. And make sure to subscribe for more videos just like this one.